Okay, and thank you, Noelle, for providing the understanding of Juneteenth and its complexity. But now let's talk about why something, as you noted, happened in Texas matters here in New Jersey. Why is Juneteenth a significant day in our state's history?
Okay. The Emancipation Proclamation did not free all of the enslaved people in the United States. For example, West Virginia, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and Kentucky, Tennessee, and Missouri were all allowed to keep slavery intact. Though it even applied to the enslaved people in Tallahassee, Florida, they were not notified of the Emancipation Proclamation either until May. Though it officially ended in December when ratified by the government, slavery's final legal death in New Jersey occurred on January 23rd, 1866, when in his first official act as governor, Marcus L. Ward of Newark signed a constitutional amendment that brought about an absolute end to slavery in the state. In other words, the institution of slavery in New Jersey survived for months following the Declaration of Freedom in Texas.
So slavery has been outlawed in New Jersey for 155 years, which might seem like a long time, but slavery existed in New Jersey for at least 200 years before it was abolished. Enslaved people lived in our state for generations. Can you tell us, Noelle, what were their lives like?
Enslaved people in New Jersey did a range of work, including mining and working in quarries, farm work, cooper work, blacksmiths, and cooks, amongst many, many other tasks. For example, the enslaved people of the Coe family in Newark worked in the quarry, and one of them, Jack Cujo, fought as a soldier on behalf of his enslaver in the American Revolutionary War.
So Noelle, in addition to this, do we know anything about the specific enslaved people who were among the last to be free here in New Jersey?
So, though we know that there were at least 16 people enslaved in New Jersey, there may have been many more. One scholar has indicated that it might have been in the hundreds, as in Delaware, where there were close to 1,000 people still enslaved. From the census, we learn about women like Dina Boyce, who was born in Somerset, New Jersey in 1783, who would live almost her entire life enslaved. She died 4 months after the ratification of the 13th Amendment. Or Lockey White, who would live almost her entire life enslaved. Later, she worked as a servant for the same family that had enslaved her for decades. But what is so touching about her story is that her granddaughter was named after her. In her family, they lived close by. So in that way, we can see family ties even during slavery, during that period into emancipation.